Fine, thank you. How is the fine? The college is okay?
Yeah, doing very well. Thank you. You're most welcome.
We are proud of the former Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kandaga, who was a student here in 1972. We are also proud of the former Speaker of Parliament, Dr Obote, who was also a student here. May his soul rest in peace. We are also proud of other people, Engineer Christopher Ebal, Justice Helen Gura, and many others. Those who are in politics, those who are in engineering, those who are professionals like teachers. So we continue to do our best, and our school has always done the best according to our expectations. And we pray that God being our helper, we'll reach there, we'll climb the ladder and reach there.
Thank you very much.
So we most welcome you. We usher you to where the students are. This is what is expected of us. Keep your legacy. Yeah.
Because the name.
Yeah.
That's the name.
Yeah. Was here.
This very good fine.
It was 1939, 1940 is when he was here.
It's very severe, very.
So we have a population of students growing up. Now we are at 1,200. Who has arrived and is team. God, we thank you for your protection, and we thank you.
I'll dive straight to our discussion this evening. Our discussion is mainly on how we can boost the confidence of citizens when it comes to elections in this country. Election is a process by which people get their leaders, especially through voting. My first question will go to the Justice right here. Justice Byabakama, what is the Electoral Commission? Some of us don't know what the Electoral Commission is and what's its roles and mandates.
Do handle issues of elections and some of the few functions that we do deal with are to ensure that there is regular, free and fair elections, to organize, conduct and supervise elections, and referendum in accordance with the Constitution that still takes us back to the Constitution of 1995 to ascertain, publish and declare in writing and that they seal the results of elections.
Thank you very much, Justice Byamakam, right there. I'll come to you, Nixon. Nixon, you're a human rights lawyer and a political analyst, and you've been in the scene of elections for quite some time now. Whenever it is election time, you as political commentators have a lot to say when it comes to
the question you asked me. The question you asked me is an answer to this one. Elections in Uganda for quite a long time has faced a lot of criticism from different stakeholders. The factors many people have discussed in various sources, but today I want to say that Uganda is a democratic country which builds on democratic principles. And also Uganda is a presidential republic country in which the president is not the head of state, the president is the head of executive, and he wields all the power of the country. And all this relates to why the opposition people have for so long questioned how the Electoral Commission has been independent in the setup of Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that Uganda organized a referendum election in 2005. And from then we were having a multi-party system election where many political parties have participated in the election of Uganda. But since that up to now, opposition, because they are weak on party system, hoping that through it they will also get 90% of the president in Uganda. But 19 years down the road, they have not yet had the chance to present the candidate as the winner. And that is why Ugandan politics will forever be in disillusion and will be there the way we are seeing it. Not that because the Commission does not know what they are doing, they are exactly doing what they should do. But I want to say the game is being played in a ground which is not fertile. How do I say this? The President appoints the Commission rules the aid of these we are seeing under elections. And now the Commission is seeing in a way that since the President appoints this one, how can he handle our elections? How can he handle our elections? They see that kind of biasness. You see that? And that's why even here in the panel we have questions here, not believing what they think these people are happy. These people are not believing that way. But I want to say they know what they're doing. Their vision are very clear, very transparent. But I want to say that Uganda, for it to go forward, then the Commission we are seeing today that represented here about patriotism within their heart. That is the only way that Ugandans will vote with their passion, not voting for someone else. But really, I would like to stop it.
Thank you very much. Before this show actually started, I remember I told you that the views are not necessarily the views of the speakers, but you can treat them as you feel. Thank you very much, I think so. That's why it's a political analyst. Anita, you are a foreign election observer and you've been in this field for quite some time. Anita, you come from the Republic of Kenya, but you've covered elections in countries of South Africa, Rwanda, Burundi, and Tanzania. Anita, you covered the 2021 elections. What is your observation and what is your view then as the Ugandans have the confidence in the elections in Uganda?
Thank you very much, moderator, for giving this opportunity to me to speak to you. Thank you very much, moderator, for giving me this chance to talk to the Ugandans. Basing on my analysis of Uganda's elections, I think there has been rampant cases of assault and torture, most especially on political analysts, political activists, other leaders and supporters. In this period, usually, most of them are arrested, and I would like to give an instance. A representative of the National Unity Platform, that is Robert Chagalani, on many bases, on many occasions, actually, we have got to know that he has been a victim of house arrest. So, this shows that there is no free and fair election in Uganda, and therefore, I think Uganda needs that free ground, that atmosphere, that platform whereby all citizens are able to choose their leaders, so that change is brought about. I've been a foreign election observer around many countries, and I'll give an instance, like in Kenya, in the 2021 general elections, it ran so smoothly. It was not chaotic, but if you see with Uganda, it's something else. It's not the same. There is a lot of violence, and therefore, I still think Ugandans must have confidence that really change will come, because I think change is something that's always constant, so they should not lose hope.
Thank you very much, Anita, for that observation. She's an election. Good enough we have the EC themselves here. I don't know, the spokesperson, Paul, she mentioned something about social and violence when it comes to election. Do you think that is the reason as to why Ugandans or citizens like me are running away from elections? And if so, how can we build the confidence of citizens when it comes to having elections in this country? Please respond to that.
And viewers, Ugandans, and the overall large. I like the point when an election observer comes on and says there was torture during elections. And let me bring this clear to the whole world that the Electoral Commission of Uganda is completely independent. It's a body that manages organizes and ensures elections are free and fair. We cannot do this alone. I remember in my home in Laos, the CEO and Salon cannot help you. We now got our friends with a little funding. This is our members of the Parliament Commission. These are members of Parliament who sent a little funding during the budget implementation. But with a little funding, they say, we go to the police, and the police come and help us in this process. We go to the UPF, come and help us in this process. We even take the expense of hiring international those like Anita. We bring in a private security organization to help us run the process. But now, the police are experts in the field of security. The army are experts. We could not bring a man of God to come and help maintain law and order. That is what they work against people who are bringing violence, people want to bring a period of uncertainty in the country. And we cannot run to stop them. Please don't do this. They are experts in the field. So the police, we have always been checking, we have related them, and they're doing what can make elections smooth and free and transparent in Uganda.
Thank you very much, Paul, for that. Taking us back. You mentioned something about us being with the police around us. We have the police around us, and they happen to be the guards to the justice right here. I hope we are safely here. Thank you very much for that insight, Paul. I will come to you, Honorable Daniel Obote. You've been in the political scene for quite some time, and you happen to be a member of Parliament. I don't think in any way you say the elections are not free and fair, and yet these are the same elections that brought you into Parliament. In any case, what is your view when it comes to elections in Uganda? And in any case, can we still have confidence when it comes to elections in Uganda?
And even the Chairperson himself stated that there are always some violence, so the police have to come in. They should not bring the man of God to come and capture order as the situation. That's what he stated.
We bring the police.
I know. Give me time. Give me time. Please. So it's not free and fair. Because there's no way, I know, the mobilizer NRA is here. And we will try to convince me that the elections are always free and fair. How can it be free and fair when I'm under house arrest? According to the recent statistics, 57% of the population, the citizens who are supposed to vote, only 50%, 57% voted. Now, where are the 43%? Where? No.
Please let him continue. Honorable, please continue.
In 1986, I think in 1986, that's in 1986. 1986, let me talk. Let me talk. In 1986, that's when I can say they had a free and fair election. Right now we are having the chief EC himself is here. He's here with us. For us, we have lived in this country ever since they used to count A over A. There were no ballot papers. And now they got the ballot papers. We started experiencing difficulties. Just say, in a situation where nowadays when we vote, even before voting, we just know the candidate, the president is going to be this and this, this and this. Yes, we don't wait for that. We don't wait for that. Opposition side, we should have representatives of the opposition in the Electoral Commission. That's why we cannot miss you. In 2021, he stated that the election will be scientific. But really, was it scientific? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable, for that. The House is getting heated. I know each and every one of you has many issues to be said. Derek, if I come to you, you happen to be in the ruling party running this country at the moment, and that is the way the essential. Derek, you happen to be in the parliament before. Do you think the elections are free and fair? What is your view? Or if they are not, how can we build the confidence of the citizens when it comes to these elections? Please.
Will you make me laugh when you talk about that elections are unfair? I can tell you, last time unfair elections in 1980, when His Excellency Dr Obote said that all votes in Northern Uganda were his. And our liberator, Dr Obote Museveni, had to go to the bush and fight and liberate us. Who was it to say that? No, what I can tell you, as NRM, we have done our part, and we are still ruling, and we are going to get your money. What things are unfair, we are fair. The EC is doing their part, and we are doing our role. Thank you very much.
About 7 minutes left in the time. I will give each of
Yes, thank you very much, the moderator and everyone in the panel, and also our viewers. This country, and I'm not one of them. This country has been experiencing a lot ever since I was born around 1956. Our regime has been alternated up to date. But one of the members of parliament one time mentioned that Uganda last had a free and fair election when Museveni came into the power. That was when, excuse me, sir, when he sprang up into the power as the president. But now, it started when we used to be counted. Yes, someone demonstrates they counted plates. Thank you. But we counted that the Electoral Commission has always been revising their forms and formality of ensuring that election of peace has been taken place. So, up to now, we are still going through the votes. Everyone is entitled to vote, and we are all free to vote. But now the challenge that we nowadays have in Uganda is that we are having a vibrant and powerful oppositions who has very little influence. In fact, some of them are celebrities, you know, when we talk of Honorable Jabulani, and I know my friend is not happy anyway, and also other candidates who normally sprang up. But also, we have a powerful ruling government, which is the NRM party. Now, this has brought conflicts and controversies among the citizens where to belong. So you find that when now someone like Honorable Jabulani sprang up and would be like, I want to be the president, there are citizens who normally belong to his side. And in most cases, they are very men. Now, the ruling government, I don't know whether it's out of fear when they now begin to tremble, and also the Electoral Commission censors this, and now they begin to put a lot of pressure on the candidates. That's why what my sister Anita is mentioning, that there are a lot of house arrests and a lot of assassination. So this has brought conflicts within the country. But fellow countrymen, I want to say that if we want to have free and fair election, shall we embrace love for our country? Shall we be patriotic? Thank you.
Election we had in 2021, where we had 57.22% out of the 18 million people, showing that only 10 million something, 10 million something voted. I think, according to my observation, the cause of this lack is that the issue is some sense of the issue seems to have more than the government of Uganda, and they all the issue what are the influence of the ruling government, and that's why we're seeing, because we know that even though the citizens know that even though they the only person who come out of the board is I can tell you basically can do that same. I also want to clarify here, why is it that during presidential elections the number are very low? When it comes to these local elections, people are willing to vote. People are very willing to vote. And to conclude my statement, because I don't know will bring me back the mic, I want to talk to my commissioner. If there's
as if the EC is it's ongoing. Yeah? It's not like money of the government. The EC should be a neutral empire that acts on election but not at the influence of the president of Uganda. And let me assure you, I'm not trust in you, and please. I'm not saying I'm bothering you, but please find the best way to gain the trust of the citizens in June for them to come back to running elections, and we are going to have a free and a fair election.
Dear moderator, if you had already lost the confidence, then we would not be sitting together like this. So it makes me to have the assurance that we still have the confidence. Thank you. Whether you have come to gain or whatever, you already have it, my friend. To my children who are complaining about the outcome of elections, before you complain so much, are you sure the voters, whom you call your supporters, are voting before you complain? But as the EC, we are here working hard day and night, and we are trying our best to ensure that the elections of 2026 makes a difference in our lives. Believe me or not, you're complaining so much about the influence of the forces. They're doing their work, and they have to. But if there is anything they're not doing right, as the EC, we are going to sit down and check, and we see best ways to correct where things have not been moving on right. Remember, our goal is to promote participatory democracy and good governance for the country's prosperity. That's what we are working and aiming towards. To all the viewers out there, and to everyone who is eligible and who can vote, as the EC, we are telling you not to lose your confidence. Have the confidence. If you had lost it, try to gain it back. Because, believe me, we are going to make a difference this time. That's why if you are to see the EC and the team, we are moving around all over Uganda, and today we are in Lera. So, if you're not to take us for granted, there's going to be a great difference. In other places, we have already moved and things are moving on so well. So, to all the voters out there, please remember to vote. Your vote counts. Thank you so much.
Byamakama, he mentioned something about being in Lira, and I remember that as we were starting this show,
it's our right to go and vote. To the opposition team, I will say the struggle continues. Transparency is Uganda's aim. Thanks.
I thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your audience. We've come to the end for your ear. You're free to give us your insights anytime you get the time. Thank you very much.
Team Boroboro, your lordship, allow me begin by and the staff of the Electoral Commission. When we came seeking for audience, Kampala meets just Byabakama of Boroboro. Your lordship has the package for these young ones and the community.
Team Boroboro. Mr. Headmaster, it shows that these young people are informed. They are up to date with the affairs of this country, the views and comments of people, and most importantly, they have a keen desire and to know what's going on in their country. That to me gives me encouragement. Secondly, I would like to thank you, Mr. Headmaster, and your team for having afforded us, and me in particular, this opportunity to come and interact with the students. I know we have so many important activities in the school in which they should be engaged in now, but the fact that you have chosen to sacrifice that and come and we talk, I'm humbled and I'm very honored that you have taken that step. Thank you so much. When I look at you, I roll back the years, many years back, and I see myself in front of me at the time I was your age. Literal, at that time when I was your age, because I think I joined secondary school when I was 14 years old. My school was Kabalega Secondary School. In our time, there were key schools which would be put on the list as you are doing your primary leaving examination, and you select where you want to go. Because the bulk of the schools were government schools. And there were some very key schools where to get entry in, you had to be a very bright student. You had to perform very well at PLOE. And one of the schools I remember I used that was prominent on the list of schools was Dr. Milton Obote Secondary School. The other was, I think, Sir Samuel Baker in Guru. In Bunyoro we had Kabalega Secondary School. Then in Ankole you had in Tare. Then in Uganda you had the Budos, the Gayazas, the Namagungas. It looks attractive. Some of the schools of the caliber of this school give them their shadows of their former selves, of what they were then. So I want to commend the management of this school for having kept this school to what it is. And I believe we're going to take it to a higher level. When I was your age, little did I know, little did I ever dream or imagine that one time I would first of all be a lawyer. Yes, I aspired. Said, I want to be a lawyer. Fine. But it's one thing to have an inspiration and another thing to achieve that. Secondly, I never imagined I would become a judge. Thirdly, I never imagined I would become a chairman of the Electoral Commission. They were beyond my dreams. So why do I say this? Never minimize yourself where you are and what you are today. Don't minimize yourself. Have self-esteem, have self-confidence that if others who are like me have gone through this stage and gone to be somebody in this country, I can also make it. But for you to do that, one, focus on the business of the day. What are you here for? Focus on that one. Secondly, ask yourself, whatever you're about to do, what does this activity add by way of value addition to what I'm here for? If it doesn't add value to what you are here for, leave it. Thirdly, be disciplined. Be disciplined. That's very critical. Avoid getting embroiled or involved in any situation or scenario that will derail you from the path you have taken to achieve your goals. When I was in a Kabalega, of course, we used to have students being expelled from school for either misconduct, for whatever. And that affected them. So don't create a scenario where management will say, get out of our school. I just wanted to share with you some of these few tidbits. And it does not matter where you come from. It does not matter what kind of family you hail from. It's not your family background that determines your academic excellence. It is your concentration, it is your focus, it is your hard work that will achieve you success. So please, whether you come from a poor family or from a rich family, whether your parents have to patch up tuition 3 times in order to make us the whole amount, focus, be concentrated, be career driven. You will achieve your goals. I'm here as young people. That's why there is a saying that the youth, the young people, are the future leaders of the country. because as I've said, when I was your age, I could never imagine I would be something like. I was only focused on reading my books and making sure I succeed to become somebody in the future and stand on my own. But now I'm here with this in another dimension. I'm talking, I believe all of us are citizens of Uganda, isn't it? We are all citizens of this country. And if we are citizens of this country, that's why I say I was mesmerized by the performance of Dr Obote. If we are citizens of this country, this supreme law of the land called the Constitution gives us certain rights and liberties, but also places on us certain obligations and duties towards the country, towards one another. And I was very impressed when I heard, I think, one or two presenters talking about patriotism, loving our country. That is very critical. If we are citizens of this land, ordained and created by God to live in this country, therefore, the first task we have is to have love for our country. When you love something, you cherish that thing. You try to protect that thing. You try to ensure it is not wasted. You try to ensure that it becomes better than it is. So our task, my task of talking to you, one, I know the Constitution says in Article 59, as one of the presenters, one of the discussants said, that is the right of every citizen to vote. And it is the duty of every citizen to register as a voter. The people who qualify, the citizens who qualify to vote or participate in elections are those who are 18 years or above and above. How many of us are 18 years today? 18 years? Absolutely. 18 years and above. 18 years and great, great. You know, you already are eligible voters. Secondly, you are eligible candidates. But depending on what position you want to contest for. If you want to contest for member of parliament or president, the law says you must have academic qualifications A-level or its equivalent. And I want to believe, apart from Mr. Headmaster and the teachers, none of us has A-level. The students as yet. A-level, nobody has it. So you do not qualify yet to contest for parliament or the president. All right. But as a voter, provided you are 18 years and above, you qualify to become a voter by getting registered on the National Voters Register, and you become a voter. So you are, many of you are actually potential voters. But secondly, how many of us are registered voters? You don't have to be ashamed about it, don't worry. How many of us are registered? Apart from the headmaster, no. Apart from the adults. The student body, how many of us are registered voters? They are less than 10. All right? Now, the Electoral Commission rolled out the roadmap for the 2025-26 general elections. And as the discussants have said, our mandate is as put. Very well put. That's why I say, Mr. Headmaster, you are doing a fantastic job. As we roll out the roadmap for 2026, one of the main activities we undertake is to ensure that all eligible citizens who are 18 years and above are given opportunity to apply to get registered as a voter. Voting is not mandatory. In some countries, voting is mandatory. You must. But in Uganda, it is optional. It's voluntary. It's the exercise of your free will. Whether you want to vote or not is exercise of your free will. But if you are citizens of this country, and Article 1, Clause 4 of the Constitution says that the citizens of Uganda shall determine through their will and consent on who should govern them and how they should be governed through the conduct of free and fair elections. It is your right. Now, if it is your right, you must exercise your right if you are eligible. So in January 2025, we are going to start the process of what we call the update of the National Voters Register for the 2025-26 general elections. This update process gives opportunity to all those who are 18 years and above, who have never voted or who have never been registered as voters, to come to the registration centers and apply to be registered a voter, because you are 18 years and above and a citizen of this country. So when it comes to January, I want to encourage you. I believe we shall be in holidays. We shall be having holidays then. I think school starts around February. The whole of January will be a time for all those 18 years and above to register as voters. So please, make use of that right. Secondly, once you have obtained your A-level certificate, because the law says you can also now vie for a leadership office, political office. You can vie for presidency. You can vie for member of parliament. You can vie for district chairperson because you are 18 years. Previously, the office of the president was restricted to those who are 35 years and above. But people felt it was discriminatory. They said, no, let us amend. Whether you are 70 or 75 or 80, you can contest. We have provided you, whether you are 18 or 20, 22, 23, you can contest. So as long as you are 18, you contest for those offices. It is your right under the Constitution. Secondly, the reason why we are also here is to tell you that we can only live, exist, progress, develop, and be happy in this country, Uganda, pursue our studies efficiently, and achieve our objectives of moving from one level, academic level, to another, up to university, when we have peace and stability in the country. All those things can only be undertaken and be achieved in an environment, in a setting of peace, stability, and security. When those things are missing, I think the other day I was listening to which, let me just use one classic example. Northern Sudan experienced instability in my time. The war that overthrew Idi Amin, I think the headmaster was around, he saw it. I saw what it meant. I missed an artillery shell just by a few meters. It flew over the house where I was sleeping at Makerere University. By then I was in university. It flew over the house I was sleeping in overnight and landed about 10 meters from the house. We had it whizzing. Then boom! I jumped out of bed and hid under the bed. In the morning, fellow students came to check on me and said, did you survive? The bomb hit near your home where you were staying at the campus. We vacated that house that night. It was of a cousin who had run out of Kampala because of the war, but she had left us to keep the house for her, me and my cousin. We survived that artillery shell very narrowly. The war of President Museveni now, in 1985, found me when I just started working. I was working in Fort Portal. And we were cut off from Kampala. I was working for the government of Uganda in Kampala. But here now I was under the government of the rebels. By then they were rebels. I was being paid by the government of Kampala, but was under the interim administration of the NRA. So the Kampala people stopped sending the salary. They said those are in rebel areas. We should not pay them a salary. And I spent over 6 months without earning the salary because of the war. Until Museveni and his army took over and they took government, and that's when we started earning a salary again. So I know I have experienced instability. I wouldn't love instability for my children or for you, because many of you are younger than my children even. I wouldn't like instability for you. Instability distorts one's projection in life. I have told you this young man who was pursuing a degree in electrical engineering in Khartoum University. He's here in Uganda, marooned, and many are here from northern Sudan. Why? Because there's no peace. Therefore, as we go about exercising our constitutional right in elections to elect our leaders, let us avoid certain things. What are they? One, I heard some people talking here. Our elections, one presenter here presenting that our elections cannot be free and fair, where we have violence, where we have bloodshed. Indeed, violence and bloodshed are not democratic principles. No, they distort our pursuit for democracy, our pursuit for good governance. Why should we allow these episodes to develop in our midst? And who commits these episodes of violence? It is we ourselves. And it pains me, not because I'm chairman, but because I'm a citizen of this country and I'm a parent. It pains me when I look at the crop of people who are involved in these running battles with the security personnel, who are involved in violent episodes, and I see the majority are younger people. And I say, why? When you are young, you have energy, you have vitality, you have fire in your belly. But all these must be channeled into productive ventures and productive episodes of life, not destructive. So that's why we are engaging with our younger people and saying, look, the trend we have noticed of late, where our young people are being lured, are being led, are being tempted into such unfortunate episodes should not happen. Because in your confrontation with the security, anything can happen. Because they are mandated to use reasonable force to contain the situation at hand. We don't want that. As a country, we believe that whatever issues there are between ourselves, we can dialogue over them. We can engage in a discussion, just like our presenters were doing. The NRM supporter was there, arguing this case. The FDC man was there. The human rights lawyer was there. The Apollo Kenya was there trying to smoothen over things. But that's what we should do. So we want to encourage our young people, please do not allow yourselves to be turned into, I don't want to use the word cannon fodder, but don't allow yourselves to be turned into objects or tools of causing violence. Avoid that. Reject that. At the end of it all, for you as an individual, what have you achieved? In the event the violence was so grave that there was maybe the security, the law enforcement agencies had to use some bit of fire, and you sustain wounds. Maybe the wounds or injuries that incapacitate you. What have you achieved? What have you gained as an individual? What is it that you could not have obtained? Like the other day I was pleased to see the MOOP leadership going to the police headquarters and sitting down and trying to iron out the issues that have emerged between law and police in their quest to maintain law and order, and MOOP in their desire to mobilize as a political party in the country. That's how it should be. For those of us who read the Bible, God said in Isaiah chapter 1 verse 18, come, let us now reason together. Even if your sins are as crimson, they are scarlet. In other words, however dirty, however sinful you are, come, let us reason together. And I will wash you, I will cleanse away all your sins. If God the Almighty can call out to sinful man to come and they reason together about man's condition. How about man to man? We are all sinners in the eyes of God. We should therefore embrace dialogue. We should embrace interaction. We should embrace conversation. We can quarrel at the same table, as some members here were doing, interrupting the other. What you are saying is not correct. That is okay. But at least we have not resorted to exchanging blows. We have not resorted to picking stones and hitting one another or destroying one another's property. We have not resorted to that. That is the way to go. Secondly, another thing I would like our young people to avoid in an electoral setting or cycle is hate speech. Hate speech. Inciting rhetoric or words. Sectarian talk. Oh, these people from this part of the country, this time we just wait for them. We shall see. We shall see. No, that's sectarian. Go, we are all equal in the eyes of God. We are created by God. And the Bible says in his image. It's God who chose to create some of us Langis, Acholis, Nyankole, Bachiga, Lugubaras, Karamajo, what have you. So when you despise one tribe in favor of yours, it means you are despising God's work. You are saying, what was God thinking when he created this tribe also? Let us not despise one another. Let us respect one another, irrespective of our backgrounds, irrespective of us. So, hate speech. We have a country in the neighborhood, in Rwanda here. You know what sparked off that genocide? We all know, don't we? Words. Words. Yes, there was a war that was going on. But what incited, sparked off the genocide were words of hatred, words of sectarianism. This, I don't know whether to call it this tribe because they talk the same language in any case. This tribe, talk about this one and so on. And then before we know it, the words started the fire. And the fire became wildfire. It engulfed so many and destroyed so many. So we should always avoid sectarian talk, hate speech, inciting language, trying to encourage people into violence. We should avoid all those things. Thirdly, in our elections, as young people, let us not sell our vote. That is, those of you who will become voters, do not accept your vote to be bought. Your constitutional right to be bought for 1,000 shillings, 2,000 shillings, 5,000, or whichever amount of money. Your vote is valueless. Your vote is valueless. You are choosing the leaders of your country for the next 5 years. What you expect from them are the policies and the services that are of benefit to you. That's what we expect from leaders. It's not the 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 shillings that we think will so. Now, even if they give you 10,000 shillings, even if they give you 20,000 shillings, what will that money do? Will it do anything? Can it pay your tuition? And you say, Mommy, Daddy, you know what? The other candidate paid me 20,000. It will cater for tuition to this school term. Don't worry about it. If anything, anyone who wants to give you 1,000 shillings, 2,000, in order for you to vote for him or her, undervalues you. He does not see any value in you because you are worth more than 2,000 shillings. And I tell the peasants, the local people, that I ask them, how many of you have guano at home or chicken? They raise their hands. How much is the cost of chicken now in your home? So, 30,000, 35 for a big cock. Say, fine. I believe many of you have more than one chicken. You cannot have a cock without a hen, or a hen without a cock. You can't keep a man alone. Now, I ask them, how then, you who owns 5 chicken, which are worth about 200,000 shillings, how do you allow someone to give you 2,000 and say, vote for me? In other words, this person is saying, your price is less than that of a chicken which you have at home. We can have clean elections. Now, I picked, and by the way, no offense at all. You can even open my heart and examine it. I did not take offense. That's why I said these students are so informed. Because the things you are talking is the things even your elders outside there talk. So, but this commission really, can it be trusted? These are questions that are raised every day. You are not raising it in Boroboro here. But this commission really, do we have free and fair elections in this country? Can we say we have, are they really independent? These are questions we have to deal with every day. It is our duty to say, one, to take stock or recognition of the concerns of the people. And we say, why should people have this kind of mindset? Why do they have this attitude about us? What is the basis? And we have realized one of the things is because we have not been so vibrant about interacting with the people because of the constraints we have in our budget and so on. So when this opportunity came for me to be able to address, one, the elders of Lango, sub-region, as I've been doing, and also this opportunity for me to come and talk to my brothers, my younger brothers and sisters, who, you never know, one of you in the future might be chairman of the Electoral Commission, who knows? When I was your age, who knew that I would be one? I was even the tiniest. They must follow the law. You have their supporters, the voters. You must follow the law. You have security agencies. They must follow the law. You have the voters. You must follow the law. All of us must act together on the basis that we are following the law. On the basis that, look, if there is anything the commission we don't understand about the commission, we want to know why is it being done like this. We do all this so that we are transparent. But human nature, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, can be complex. We all know the story of the children of Israel as they were being led from where? Egypt. They witnessed what God did to the Egyptians. They were there. They saw, they suffered under the Egyptians. They labored, they cried, they did what? Ensure that we, the young people of Boroboro, of Dr. Obote College, today, we are the returning officers of tomorrow. In the public service, we have what we call the retirement age. My time is going to come and I retire. I'm not a permanent chairman of the Electoral Commission. I'm a permanent citizen of Uganda, but not a permanent chairman. I will vacate office and one of you will take over and we shall continue. Uganda will continue. Fourthly, the other point we want to emphasize. Elections are not the end result of the country. The country is more than elections. There is life beyond elections. There is a Uganda beyond elections. There is Dr. Obote College beyond elections. There is Makerere University and all these institutions beyond elections. Elections are just one facet of what makes a nation to move on the path of democracy and good governance. There are so many other facets that make up the nation, that make a nation tick. We have talked of security, peace and stability. We have talked of parliament, we talk of parliament. We talk of all these other activities, the activities our parents do at home. When they wake up and go to the gardens, when they wake up and come to Lira Market, or they go to Kamdini Market, or to a March Market, all these markets around, and go with their merchandise. They trade, and then they come back home peacefully, with nobody disturbing them, nobody waylaying or ambushing them along the road. They generate some money. Then when the time comes for you to pay tuition, they say, my child, go to school. That's the Uganda we want. Uganda that promotes coexistence, unity, togetherness, and a peaceful environment in which you can all thrive and develop and do our things. I want you to be part of that Uganda. And say no to those who want a Uganda that is chaotic, a Uganda that is having bloodshed, a Uganda that is rife with violence, a Uganda that's where we cannot even move from one part of the country to another, like those people in those countries I'm talking about. DRC is another country. We have so many refugees from DRC. Maybe they have not reached here, but they are there. They describe Uganda as an island of stability in the region. These foreign friends of ours, they call Uganda an island of stability in the region. Why? Because all other countries around it are unstable. Sudanese, Somalians, they are here because their country is in chaos. Eritreans, they are here. Rwandese, some of those who left in 1958, their country, they have never gone back. They are here. Now tell me, is anything better, more valuable than peace and stability? Is it there? It's not there. Who is going to preserve this peace and stability? Who is going to ensure this peace and stability prevails? It is you and me. So, when we are going to an election, we say, let it be free and fair. To the extent that, one, we have no violence. We have no hate inciting words or speech. We have no bribery. Bribery is soiling our democracy. The young people, the other day, we were meeting with some of their groups, these youth organizations. They said to me, Mr. Chairman, we the young people feel disadvantaged in this political environment. If I want to contest, one nomination fees for member of parliament is 3 million. Nomination fees. I feel I'm a younger person. Where do I get 3 million from? Don't you see this is discriminatory? Secondly, in this environment of commercialized politics and elections, where you need about 500 million to contest for member of parliament, where do we younger people get that money from? I think the younger people can play a role by saying, you know, one, I'm not going to accept a bribe of 1,000 to vote for you. Secondly, I am not going to engage in violence. Thirdly, I'm going to offer myself. You, voters, see as I am your son here. I've left school. I know the challenges that you have. I know I can make a contribution when you elect me to address your challenges. You either give me your vote to serve you, or if you want that one of money, but once he pays for your vote, you may not see him or her coming back to serve you. Which is which? We must begin a conversation somewhere. We cannot say, this is what's happening, what can we do? Then, as I conclude, because I know I came a bit late and I want you to excuse me. We must respect our elders. Let's respect our elders. Because the elders you despise now were all young, once young like you. Aging is not an option. It's inevitable. Aging is inevitable. It's not an option. So do not underlook or despise the aged. They did not opt to become old. So, we must, even if we have divergent views or disagree with our elders, let us, especially when it comes to an electoral environment. I see some of the conduct of some of our young people and their attitude and their words and the rhetoric towards the elderly is very ashamed. It's an African. For me, when I was growing up, we were told you must respect your elders irrespective of their status or class. We say age is wisdom. must respect our elders. We must look for cross intergenerational dialogue, not intergenerational conflict. We must accept that the elders have seen certain things, they have done certain things which you can emulate. You can emulate the good things the elders have done. The bad things they have done, don't. The good things, we learn. We must accept being mentored. You are under the able leadership of the headmaster because, one, he has seen, he has had so many experiences in life. When he's talking to you, he's talking to you from an informed position of someone who has seen it. So, similarly, let us respect our elders. Our politics in the country has tended to be so toxic that we have even discarded all our values and cultures and norms. And you start abusing and insulting an elder. Why? That's not democracy. Democracy is about exchange of ideas. I agree with you or disagree. You have that view, I have my view. And therefore let us sell it to the voters and let us see whom the voters agree with. If we choose in this country to behave in accordance with the law, to be respectful, to have decorum towards one another, I can assure you we can have peaceful elections. The independence of the commission is derived from this law, the Constitution. It says, yes, we are appointed by somebody, but somebody, this president, can only appoint us after Parliament has vetted us. He nominates the names, sends them to Parliament. The Committee of Parliament sits. It comprises of all people, opposition, members of the opposition, members of the ruling party, and so on, and then they vet us. If the vetting committee is not satisfied, they will tell the president, we are not satisfied with this candidate. Secondly, the Constitution guarantees me a 7-year term. 7-year term. That once the president has signed that instrument, I have 7 years. The only way he can remove me is either on grounds of incompetence or on grounds of mental incapacity, where I'm no longer in command of my faculties, or misconduct. And even then, there must be a committee, a tribunal that has to be set up. So I act knowing my 7 years are in the bag, they're in the pocket. Secondly, the Constitution says that in the performance of its mandate, the Electoral Commission shall not be subject to any direction or control. And that's why, gentlemen and ladies, when we say now nominations, let every presidential candidate come to be nominated, even the incumbent must satisfy the Electoral Commission that I have the requirements. He too must file his papers, one of academic qualifications. Does he have A level or not? Two, he must have his names properly rhyming with the names on the National Voters Register. Three, he must also pay the nomination fee. Four, he must also get the necessary supporters from across the country, like any other. So what we required Katumba Oye to produce is what we required Museveni to produce for nomination. That puts everybody at the same footing. Three, we put in place a campaign program and we say all candidates, you must agree, you must harmonize on your campaign program so that candidate X does not come on 29th to Boroboro grounds and then candidate Y also comes to Boroboro grounds on the same day. You must agree, for me I'll be at Boroboro, me I'll be at Arieda, me I'll be where, and so on. You harmonize your program. 3 or 4, we say these are the regulations you have to follow, the guidelines you have to follow when you are campaigning. You must not go beyond 7. Is it 7 or 6? 6, okay? Okay. Now, you must not go beyond 6 o'clock. All candidates must comply. The only difference is one. Let me make this clear. And again, it is in the law. The law says, for the incumbent, when he becomes a candidate, he reserves the right to use the facilities attached to his office. The incumbent, when he becomes a presidential candidate, under the law, he has the right to use the facilities, the vehicles, the whatever it is, the helicopters and so on. Why? Because an incumbent, although a candidate, remains the president of the country must at all times have a president who is also the commander-in-chief. That's why he must, one, continue playing the role of president, but two, he's a candidate. So in order for him to move around and campaign, since he's the president, let him have. But all other regulations apply to him. If he does not produce the required academic documents, if he does not pay the nomination fee, if he does not get the signatures of the supporters, he will never get nominated. To us, that's what we call being transparent, being open, and putting everybody on the job. Now, on free and fair, what is a free and fair election? The courts have said a free and fair election is one where, one, all the citizens are mobilized to participate. Two, they are given opportunity to get registered. Three, the candidates are given opportunity to campaign. Four, the voters know where the polling stations are, which polling station they are supposed to vote from. Five, on polling day, they come out and vote. Those who want, voting is for the willing. Six, the results are declared in the open. They are counted in the open, and every candidate gets to know the outcome from that polling station, what he or she has scored. Seven, they are declared to the whole country to know. Those are the tenets of a free and fair election. Now, those who say elections are not free and fair, what is the basis of that claim? Violence. Yes. But who are the perpetrators of violence? They must be identified. Violence is a crime. Under the electoral laws, there are so many criminal offenses. Like bribery, it's a criminal offense. Fighting or beating or assaulting a voter is a criminal offense. Obstructing someone going to vote is a criminal offense. Let us deal with the aspects of crime as crime. But let us not interpret the existence of crime as an indicator. Therefore, the Electoral Commission failed to conduct a free and fair election. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish I had come early. I would have wanted to continue engaging with you on and on and on, but I'm told I have another program, and here there's one session I'm going to miss, hearing from the students. What do they say? I've heard from the presenters, but as I said, that is just for show purposes, maybe. But I would have loved to hear from you. What do you say? What do you think we can do better? How can you partner with us? How can you, when you go to holidays, what are you going to tell your parents? If you know your parent did not vote in 2021, and yet he's an adult, or she's an adult, encourage them to come out and vote. In capitals, and tell them about our problems. But I can assure you, why should they care about you? You should care about yourself.
We are not going to spend any more time. Students of Dr. Obote College, and on my own behalf, allow me to appreciate you very much for your good insight and the desire to come and speak to us at Dr. Obote College. Thank you very much. Please give him a hand of that, please. Justice, you said a lot of things, and I'll give you this guarantee. These are doctorians. We are known for greatness, and rest assured that whatever you've said is going to be implemented, and maybe one time you'll get one of our doctorians at your office or at your desk asking you for a job or something. Yeah, rest assured that as doctorians, we are greatness. Thank you very much. For the students of Dr. Obote College, I want to appreciate you for the good ear you've given our justice here, and for the time you've sacrificed. I pledge that each and every one of us goes out with a message and something they can do to change this country. I don't want to say much because a lot has been said, but back to you, Justice. Thank you very much.